So now let's work with finding the derivative of the natural exponential function when we have to use the product rule along with finding the derivative of the actual exponential function. So I've got f of x equals x times e to the x. So I've got x and we have e to the x. So we have two bases, which are factors, and we're going to use the product rule. So you remember the product rule. The derivative of the first times the second plus the derivative of the second times the first. So that's what we'll do. So we've got f prime of x, we'll start there. F prime of x is equal to the derivative of the first, which is 1, times the second, e to the x, plus the derivative of the second, and the derivative of the e to the x is e to the x, times the first, which is x. So I've got e to the x plus x times e to the x. That's one way of writing our answer. However, many textbook publishers will factor out that e to the x and leave you with an answer in factored form. So e to the x times the quantity 1 plus x. Seems easy enough, right? Especially if you're a pro at using your product rule. So here's one for you to try. Add another page. Put try on here. E to the x minus e to the negative x all over 2. So let's see if you can figure out what to do. So I would press pause and see if you can get started on it. And then you can press play and see if you're on the right track. Okay, if you're back and you're just looking to see if you're on the right track, fantastic. If you actually never pressed pause because you said, you know, I'm not sure what to do, this is what you would do. I'm going to distribute that divide by 2 to both terms. So I'm going to make it 1/2 e to the x minus 1/2 e to the negative x. So that now that divide by 2 is a coefficient. And I'm going to find the derivative. Let's use some purple and orange colors. Now I'm going to find the derivative of each term. So the derivative of the purple, f prime of x, that derivative of the purple is going to be 1/2 e to the x, because the derivative of e to the x is e to the x. It's fantastic. And then we're going to have minus 1/2 e to the negative x, right? E to the negative x. So the derivative of that exponential is itself, but we have to use the chain rule. We have to multiply by the derivative of the exponent, which is -1. So a negative times a negative is a positive, so our final answer is 1/2 e to the x plus 1/2 e to the negative x. And we can factor out a 1/2 e to the x, 1 plus e to the negative x. No. I think we just factor out a 1/2. Yes. There we go. 1/2 e to the x plus e to the negative x. That's what we're going to do. So that's something that we can do. Or you can go back and put that 1/2 back into the denominator. Just like that. And that's our final answer. Either one of those are equal to each other. Now looking at this, if we are really good with our rules, we know that the derivative, watch this, if I have f of x equals, and I just take that 1/2 to the outside, e to the x minus e to the negative x, we know that the derivative I can just take that constant, keep it on the outside, and find the derivative of what's inside the parentheses. And the derivative inside the parentheses would be e to the x, and then minus e to the negative x times negative 1 would be plus e to the negative x. So if in green you're going to maybe work up to a point, I hope, that you can go straight from given the problem, the original problem, to working your work out in green and not having to do as much work, but it may take practice, because quite honestly, I mean, it's practice that allows us to begin skipping steps. Think back to, your beginning algebra work. You're able to skip so many more steps now because you got so much practice at it and you became really good at it. So just consider that. Here's another try. And again, see what you can do on your own. I will give you a hint. If you don't want the hint, make sure you press pause. Okay, my hint is we're going to need to use the quotient rule here. So if they didn't want the hint, they pressed pause. So I'm going to keep going. So I've got f prime of x is going to equal the derivative of the numerator times the denominator minus the derivative of the denominator times the numerator all over the denominator squared. So x times e to the x minus e to the x all over x squared. So I think that we can take out an e to the x for sure. E to the x, and that's going to leave us x minus 1 in the numerator all over x squared. It's actually quite a nice way to write the answer, so I'm going to box it because I feel pretty comfortable about that. That box was not quite a box. Trapezoidal. Parallelogram, definitely trapezoidal. Okay, let's try these. So you'll know you've got it if you can do these problems right here. F of x equals x squared times e to the x. F of x equals e to the x plus e to the negative x all over 2. F of x equals e to the x over x squared. And number 4, f of x equals x squared e to the x minus e to the x. So go ahead and try those, and let's see what you get for an answer, and then come on back and we'll check your answer with my answer. Okay, this one right here, I'm going to have to do the product rule. 2x e to the x plus e to the x times x squared. I could take an e to the x out, and I can take an x out. So x e to the x times 2 plus x. Now, if that's not correct, I know I'm going to hear about it. 2x e to the x plus e to the x x squared. I feel really comfortable that my first step is right. If I made a mistake, it would have been in the factoring. Okay, this next one, I believe we're going to have 1/2. Actually, I'm going to keep it as a denominator. 2, and I'm going to have e to the x minus e to the negative x. That's the derivative. F prime of x equals, f prime of x equals, okay, let's do this one. F prime of x equals e to the x times x squared minus 2x e to the x all over x to the 4th. So let's see, we're going to end up with an x cubed in the denominator. So we're going to have e to the x minus 2e to the x over x cubed. So my final answer on number 3 is factor out an e to the x times x minus 2 all over x cubed. And the last one, we've got the product rule. So I'm going to have 2x e to the x plus x squared e to the x minus e to the x. So the derivative of e to the x is e to the x. And here's the product rule from above. So I've got three terms. They all share an e to the x. E to the x times 2x plus x squared minus 1. And that is, let me get rid of this because it almost looks like a fraction there. That is my answer. Okay, blocking out. There we go. Better, 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 better. That's what I got for an answer. So hopefully that's what you got too.